Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is officially confirming these support and resistance levels in the immediate short term, setting up a new consolidation range, which we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside the US stock market, which is also starting to consolidate sideways after the latest pullback in the immediate short term, while Ethereum is potentially about to now retest a crucial level of resistance on the price chart, while the price of Solana is still trying to play out this shorter term bullish divergence. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin and crypto charts today, taking a quick look at the US stock market. This right here is the S&P 500 index on the 1 hour time frame, and we can see that right now in the immediate short term over this last 1 day here, the US stock market is basically just bouncing around sideways, having a little bit of a sideways consolidation after that latest pullback that we saw in the last couple of trading days. And in case you're new to the channel and you're wondering why I'm talking about the US stock market on a crypto channel, it's because the crypto market is highly correlated to what the US stock market is doing. So for example, with that latest little pullback and then right now a bit of sideways price action in the short term, we'll likely see something similar to that in the crypto market. Obviously not the exact same, but something similar. And that is what is happening right now in the short term, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But first, taking a look at the larger time frames for the price of Bitcoin here on the weekly time frame, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the red, indicating a larger correction or larger bearish market. And on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we still have a massive bearish divergence to watch out for, which is technically still active. So keep this in mind. This basically is telling us we're most likely going to see a lack in bullish momentum and a lot of weakness on the larger time frames for likely a period of months. And obviously it's already been playing out very nicely here for a period of months, as I predicted months ago, all the way back up here. So obviously that's still active. Not much has changed over the last 1 day on the weekly time frame. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin price chart, just in the shorter term, talking about a period of days or possibly weeks, we're taking a bit of a short-term break during this much larger movement or larger weakness on the market right here, due to the fact that we have a smaller bullish divergence here on the 3-day Bitcoin price chart. And so remember, on the weekly time frame, due to this massive bearish divergence, I don't expect a significant amount of bullish momentum like this, for example. So I don't necessarily expect this same outcome as this previous bullish divergence on the 3-day time frame. I don't expect a huge move like this towards all-time highs, at least not straight away like that, due to the fact that we have the massive bearish divergence. But due to the fact that we have the smaller bullish divergence, it means we're likely going to continue a bit more of a break or a relief from all of this bearish price action here, most likely in the form of either some sideways price action or maybe just a slight little bullish relief if we're talking about a period of days or possibly weeks. So just the shorter term situation that is not really changed over the last 1 day. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, right now the price of Bitcoin is in this sideways price range between this support and this resistance, still sitting at around 85 to 86,000 for the support level, and the area of resistance still sitting at around 92 to 94,000. And if we're zooming further into the short term, this area right here on the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, we can see an even smaller sideways price range that the price is basically forming right now. We're seeing multiple perfect bounces from this level of support and multiple perfect rejections from this level of resistance. First of all, this support right now is sitting at pretty much exactly 86.8k, and this level of resistance is sitting at pretty much exactly 90,000, really around 89.9k to 90,000 as the area or level of resistance. And once again, due to the fact that the US stock market is just bouncing around relatively sideways in the immediate short term here on the 1 hour stock market price chart, S&P 500 index price chart, due to the fact that this is happening right now in stocks, and due to the fact that we have this shorter term bullish divergence but also the larger bearish divergence, all of this is pointing towards most likely a bit of neutral price action, so sideways price action for Bitcoin and crypto, just ranging in a sideways price range, lacking momentum to either direction. That's exactly what is now playing out, and this will likely continue for a little longer. Honestly, this will likely continue into the new year, especially on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, for example, and public public holidays, etc. We'll likely see low trading volume on those days, so relatively boring price action. And then potentially at some stage in January, we could finally start to see some new massive moves. But obviously also be aware that during this shorter term sideways price range, bouncing between support and resistance, it has been a common occurrence to see these little pump and dumps, little scandal candles up and down very quickly. So keep that in mind. Don't be obviously trapped in one of those moves. If we start to see a little bit of short-term bullish price action, but we're not yet above a certain point of resistance, don't necessarily buy all at once, go all in, or especially in a massive high leverage long position. Not financial advice, but if you're doing that before we confirm any breakout, obviously you could be trapped in that position with a potential pullback coming after. And obviously the same thing can be pretty much said about the opposite direction. If we're running into a point of support, obviously you don't necessarily want to enter a short position right as we're hitting support in case we see another bounce back towards the upside, like what we've seen many times just recently here. And so in terms of a breakout trading opportunity, a long position, short position, etc., we simply just have to wait and see for one of these entry signals to eventually confirm, which I have been talking about recently here on the channel. And also in the meantime, if you still want to take trades during this range, obviously not financial advice, but during a choppy sideways price range like this, a grid bot trading strategy is pretty much perfect. That is the most optimal trading strategy, not financial advice, during price action just like this, where you can make a lot of quick and easy and very passive profits during choppy sideways price action. And if you want to know more about that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more about a grid bot trading strategy. But either way, if you haven't done so already, this is the time, and really over the next couple of days is the time to get set up ready to go on a crypto exchange to take advantage of the next trading opportunity, which could potentially happen in a couple of days from now in the new year. So definitely check out the first link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, because that first link below this video will take you to this page right here over on the 2bit crypto exchange, which by the way is also a no KYC exchange. And this page right here is a massive Christmas trading showdown still happening right now and happening for almost the next 2 weeks, 1.5 to 2 weeks here. And there's actually a 1 million USDT prize pool. And it's not like you have to be the best trader in the world to claim some of this prize money. This prize pool right here is actually split up into a bunch of different buckets, where basically there's a bunch of different ways to claim a share in this huge prize pool right here. So especially if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, or preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well check this out. Take advantage of this using that first link below this video to 2bit. And remember, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But if you want another exchange out there to also benefit from extra bonuses, etc., an exchange that I also use myself, and an exchange that's also very good for a grid bot trading strategy, then for that, check out the second link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, because the second link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the Pinex crypto exchange, where you can also take advantage of exclusive bonuses that are only available using that link. For example, if you make your account using that link, complete KYC, you get a 50 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. And on top of that, there's deposit bonuses here. If you deposit as little as 100 USDT, you get a 100 USDT bonus on your account. If you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. So once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well take advantage of this. Check this out, second link below this video. But if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map right now, we still have a lot of liquidity just below the price and also just above the price. First of all, we have a major level of liquidity sitting at around 86.3k, approximately just above 86.3k, and a major area of liquidity sitting in between around 90.7k to 90.9k. And so keep that in mind. Those are still price targets to watch out for on the Bitcoin price chart, because as usual, in case you're new to all of this, usually the price of Bitcoin tends to move towards where we have a lot of liquidity. So considering the fact that we have a lot of liquidity at this level to the downside and at this area towards the upside, it's possible that we could see a candle wick down and up, basically taking out both of those levels eventually. And so basically more price action like what we've been seeing over the last few days, with these quick little moves up, maybe a candle wick up towards almost 91k, give or take out that liquidity, and then maybe a candle wick towards the downside to take out the liquidity towards the downside just below this support. But for as long as we're just seeing candle wicks up and down, not candle closes below these levels or above these levels, in that situation, obviously we're still remaining in this sideways price range, bouncing around between support and resistance. And so those are my expectations moving forward in the shorter term, the key levels and targets to watch out for, and what is influencing the price in the shorter term, especially what the stock market's doing, and of course the bigger picture not really changing all that much over the last one day. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, right now technically speaking the Bitcoin dominance is still trending slightly in the bullish direction, but of course it's only slightly. We don't have a significant amount of bullish momentum. And so in terms of the performance between Bitcoin and altcoins, I actually expect relatively similar performance for a lot of the major altcoins out there on average as to what Bitcoin is doing, not necessarily massively outperforming or massively underperforming. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now it is looking likely that the price of ETH is about to see another retest, and in fact is pretty much already retesting this area of resistance in between 3,000 to 3.1k, but the more specific level is sitting at around 3040 to 3050. And so really in between around 3,000 to 3.1k, continue to expect a lot of resistance around there on the price chart. And if the price of ETH can actually confirm a breakout, ideally above 3.1k with a candle close above that level and actually holding above that area, in that situation the next target would be at just above 3.2k, really in between around 3230 to 3250 as a potential point of resistance to watch out for. And above that area I would expect more resistance at around 3.4k. And as for support, expect a lot of support really in between 2750 to 2.8k. And if we're zooming into this area on the price chart, staying on the daily Ethereum price chart, we have this ascending line of support here sitting at just above 2.8k, at more closer towards around 2830 to 2840. And obviously also keep in mind that we have this possible head and shoulders pattern, a bearish price pattern currently forming but not yet confirmed. And as I've talked about recently here on the channel, in order to actually confirm this pattern really in the next few days or so, we need to see a bit more of a pullback and then a confirmed break below this neckline. So basically breaking below around 2.8k, below these lows right here, in order to actually confirm the breakdown and confirm this head and shoulders pattern. And like I just said, that really needs to happen in the next few days, because for example, if we take another few weeks to eventually move down, then in that situation this right shoulder is too large for the head and shoulders pattern, so we wouldn't really be forming a head and shoulders pattern in that stage. And so once again, still something to pay attention to, but nothing to really act on as of right now, not financial advice. But if we're zooming further into the short term, taking a look at the 3-hour Ethereum price chart, obviously over the last couple of days we cooled off very nicely, reset from overbought territories with that slight little pullback after that quick little pump. So once again, just another example of a quick little pump and dump in the immediate short term, very similar to the price action that Bitcoin is playing out in the shorter term. So be aware of those sort of moves happening on the smaller time frames, the smaller moves in the price. But in terms of the structure or the trend for the price in the short term here, obviously we're still looking very neutral, just kind of bouncing around it relatively sideways between support and resistance. First of all, in terms of short term support, we have a lot of support at around 2.9k exactly, and a lot of resistance at around 3050 to 3060. And considering the fact that Ethereum, along with a lot of the major altcoins out there on average, are very correlated to what Bitcoin and stocks are doing, and considering that the stock market is just bouncing around sideways in the immediate short term and Bitcoin is bouncing around sideways in the immediate short term, considering that is happening right now for stocks and Bitcoin, it's very likely we're going to continue similar sort of price action for Ethereum and a lot of major altcoins just in the shorter term. And that will likely continue at least over the next 1 or 2 days. Once again, over New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, this will likely be the case. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the daily time frame, right now the price of Solana is still playing out this bullish divergence on the daily time frame. Once again, we previously confirmed lower lows in the price and higher lows in the RSI, meaning we're most likely going to see either some choppy sideways price action or a slight little bullish relief. And over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we've seen exactly that as predicted, in the form of mostly choppy sideways price action, one of the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence. And so considering the fact that this bullish divergence for the price of Solana is still active, still in play right now on the daily time frame, I continue to expect most likely more choppy sideways price action, maybe another slight little bullish relief in the shorter term, talking about the next few days or possibly another week or two, but not necessarily over multiple months, because if we're talking about multiple months, we have to look at the larger trends that we are in, and at least for now, we're still technically within a much larger bearish trend. We're just taking a bit of a shorter term break or a short term relief from that larger bearish trend, which can occur during the trend, as we've seen many times during this very trend. And as for support and resistance, these levels have not changed over the last 1 day, so I'd still expect a lot of support really in between around 115 to 120, some resistance around 124 to 125, which we're running into right now, and above that, more resistance at $130, and above that, significant resistance in between 143 to 147. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, we're still playing out this massive bearish divergence on the weekly XRP price chart, obviously forming this much larger pullback, a lot of weakness on the larger time frames, which is something that I warned about over and over again here on the channel months ago, all the way back up here close to all-time highs, end of July, early August. You can even check my videos back then. They're all still public, warning about this massive multi-month crash coming next. And right now, I'm giving you the same warning. We're still not looking very good at all when we're looking at the larger time frames, the bigger picture for XRP. Remember, this is different from the short term. If we're talking about the next few days, the next 1 week, that might be a different situation than this longer term situation. But the big picture, once again, still not looking too good. But we are running into a point of support here at around $1.80. So in the shorter term, that is helping the price a little, along with this smaller bullish divergence on the daily XRP price chart, helping the price form just some sideways price action in the shorter term, having a little bit of a break, a bit of a relief from all of the bearish price action, but not necessarily confirming the end or the reversal of this larger bearish trend. And so that is still the situation. Not a lot has changed over the last 1 day for XRP in the shorter term and for the bigger picture here. And so for the next few days, at least, maybe a bit longer, maybe another week, but at least the next few days, I do continue to expect either choppy sideways price action or a slight little bullish relief as a very likely scenario. And as for support and resistance, still expect a lot of support, like I just said, at around $1.80, and a lot of resistance at around $1.95, and more resistance in between $2 to $2.05. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, it's a very similar situation for Chainlink. Technically, the larger price structure still not looking too good, but the short-term situation playing out this bullish divergence still technically active on the daily Chainlink price chart is obviously playing out right now in the form of choppy sideways price action, and will likely continue to play out in the form of choppy sideways price action moving forward, which so far is playing out as predicted. And as for support and resistance, once again, we still have a lot of support at give or take $12, really in between $11.90 to $12.10, acting as strong support. And as for resistance, expect some resistance at around $12.80 approximately, and above that, more resistance at around $13.30 to $13.50. And zooming into this area on the daily Chainlink price chart, we still have a possible head and shoulders pattern forming, but not confirmed. And like I've said recently here on the channel, in order to actually confirm this bearish price pattern, a possible bearish price pattern, we need to really see a break below this neckline, below this support at around $11.80 to $11.90 in the next few days or so, in order to actually confirm this price pattern, confirming a new bearish price target. Obviously, like I said earlier in the video, if this takes another few weeks to eventually happen, then in that situation, we would not have a head and shoulders pattern even forming. And so once again, not something to act on as of right now, not financial advice, but at least something to pay attention to, something to be aware of on the price chart in case it possibly confirms. And once again, if you haven't done so already, this is the time to get set up, ready to go on a crypto exchange using the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim the massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can profit during all of this price action right here, no matter if it's bullish, bearish, or bouncing around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action using those grid bot trading strategies that I talked about earlier. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.